So you just found out about a little game called Blue Protocol Star Resonance, and you're looking for a video that goes over all the different classes inside of the game so that you can make a better, well-informed decision about which class you think will offer you the most overall enjoyment and fun. Well, look no further. Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's Brother Frona back at it with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to give a basic overview of all the 8 different classes inside of BPSR, as well as dive into a little bit the 2 different unique specializations for each basic class. With that being said, a quick little disclaimer before we get started. All of the information in this video will be provided by the folks over at maxroll.gg. Links, as always, will be in the description. But with that being said, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. We'll first be starting off with the tank section, starting off with the Heavy Guardian. The Heavy Guardian is a tank class representing the rock element, wielding a massive weapon called the Guard Blade. Slow but powerful attacks characterize this class. It can channel the strength of stone to create a protective shell, providing exceptional defense and control. The Heavy Guardian can effectively handle both single target and multiple enemy groups. Although the class appears slow, it can possess a vital skill called Sand Grip, which allows it to easily pull all enemies together within its large AoE range. As a matter of fact, Sand Grip is the only skill among all tanks that can gather monsters together in this manner. Moving on to the pros and cons section, starting off with the pros, the first one is that it is easy to play, 2, it has great survivability, of course being a tank class, and 3, has low APM, or actions per minute. And basically what all that means, if you're not familiar with MMOs, is you're not going to have to worry about playing a class like this that has to endlessly spam its skills a million times off cooldown, having basically an endless rotation. Now on the con side of things, it does support a low DPS for being a tank class, it does have a low self-heal, and it does of course have slow movement because you are a bulkier character and you will focus more on frontlining for your team than endlessly dashing around to pull aggro. When it comes to the 2 different specs for the Heavy Guardian, the first one is the Earthforth spec, summons rock to shield allies, a versatile defender reliable in all kinds of high pressure scenarios. And for its second spec, you have the Block spec, which excels at resisting physical damage with guaranteed blocks that allow Heavy Guardian to defend effectively while delivering counterattacks. Moving on to the next tank class, we have the Shield Knight. The Shield Knight is one of the tanks in BPSR. Your role as a tank is to group mobs together during dungeons, keep aggro, and stay on the front line. Keeping aggro is easy due to the amount of natural threat the Shield Knight generates. The Shield Knight uses the light element in skills such as Judgment and Aegis Wind for high self-sustain and survivability. The specs are Recovery and Shield. Recovery is more blocks and self-sustain focused, while Shield focuses more on damage but still remains tanky due to its HP stacking from passives. For the pros and cons, starting off with the pros, it does have a lot of high self-sustain compared to the Heavy Knight. It is also easy to play, and it comes with good defense. When it comes to the cons, similarly to the Heavy Knight as well, or the Heavy Guardian, it has poor mobility, and it also has a slow solo clear, since it has less DPS as a tank class overall. When it comes to the specs for the Shield Knight class, you have the Recovery spec, which again is the more self-healing defender archetype, and you have the Shield spec, which obtains defensive resources through rapid attacks. And with that, we'll now be moving on into the DPS section of this video, starting off with my personal favorite, since this is the class that I played during the closed beta test for Global, the Wind Knight. The Wind Knight is a melee DPS class that embodies the wind element and wields a long spear, enabling swift actions and skills. Fast attacks and consistent damage output characterize this class. Notably, you can deal significant damage using abilities like Falcon Toss and Spiral Thrust. In combat, you utilize skills while managing your resources to keep them active for continuous damage. The ultimate ability, Typhoon Cleave, can assist in fully regenerating the resources consumed by these skills. Wind Knight, of course, with its 2 specs, either allows for a more diverse playstyle for ground play or aerial play. As for the pros and cons, for the pros, it supports a lot of fast actions, balanced survivability, and of course the ability to have airborne gameplay if you're a Groom fan from Final Fantasy, if you played that MMO. As for the cons, it does support a high APM or actions per minute. This class is definitely one that's going to spam a lot of skills off of your cooldowns as much as possible in order to consistently upkeep your resources, and of course it does also have low self-heal since it is a DPS class. As for the specs, again you have the Vanguard spec, which unleashes aggressive high-speed strikes with exceptional mobility, and again is more grounded, as opposed to the Skyward spec, or the Aerial spec, which leaps into the air to evade ground-based attacks, charges mid-air, and descends with crushing force, overwhelming enemies below. The next one on our list for the DPSs is the Frost Mage. The Frost Mage is the master of using ice element skills and is one of the ranged damage dealers in BPSR. This class has large AoE skills and various crowd control or CC skills to assist the team. However, the Mage struggles due to low mobility while bursting paired with low survivability. If you get around those issues, then this class is powerful in both single and multi-target situations. Icicle and Frostbeam are the two specs. The Icicle spec focuses primarily on high single target damage, while the Frostbeam specializes in multiple target hits and supporting the team with crowd control. When it comes to the pros and cons for this class, pros, it is 1, easy to play, 2, has good crowd control, 3, is ranged if you want a more ranged playstyle, and 4, has low APM. As for the cons, you do of course have to deal with longer animations, low defense, as well as low mobility. For the next DPS on the list, we have the Marksman. The Marksman is a ranged DPS class in BPSR. This class deals with a mix of single target and AoE damage while harnessing the light element. The specs are Wild Pack style and Falconry style. As Wild Pack spec, you fight alongside wolves and rely on the mastery and haste attributes for your own damage, while with the Falconry spec, you fight alongside a falcon that relies on crit to deal damage while utilizing your other skills to deal AoE damage. When it comes to the pros and cons, again similar to Frost Mage, it is a ranged class, so you do get to experience ranged gameplay, and it is also easy to play. But as for the cons, it does have low defense, and similar to Frost Mage, also has longer cooldowns, so you are more susceptible to being hit by the enemies. And then with the last DPS on this list of classes in BPSR, we have the Stormblade class. The Stormblade class utilizes the Thunder element, and is one of the melee damage dealers in BPSR. This class has two unique mechanics, Blade Intent and Thunder Sigil. The combination of these two mechanics allows Stormblade to unleash high burst damage to enemies in quick succession. This class lacks buffs or crowd control to support the team, but makes up for it with its high damage and mobility. Iaido Slash and Moonstrike are the specs for Stormblade. Iaido Slash focuses on front-loading damage using the skills Volt Surge, Iaido Slash, Flash Strike. Meanwhile, Moonstrike uses Thundercut and Storm Flash to specialize more in consistent damage and stylish gameplay. And when it comes to the two specializations for the Stormblade class, it basically comes down to if you want to play with the Katana, in that case, choose the Iaido spec, or if you want to play with the Scythe, in that case, play with the Moonstrike spec. As for the pros and cons, the pros are it has good mobility, good defense, flashy gameplay, and is easy to learn. While as for the cons, it is a melee class, so you do have to get up close and personal with the enemies, which means you will have to dodge more often and get your rotations down to support that. It also has high APM and requires raid knowledge, of course, so that you can get your rotations off the best way possible. Last but not least, we have the Verdant Oracle, which is the first of the two support classes in BPSR. The Verdant Oracle is one of the two dedicated support classes, harnessing the Forest element to sustain and protect allies. It excels at providing healing, shielding, and defensive buffs through a wide variety of skills and synergies. However, the Verdant Oracle comes with trade-offs. For one, it offers very little personal damage output and can feel weaker in the early stages, relying on progression and talents to reach its full potential. The Verdant Oracle offers two distinct specs, Smite and Lifebind. The Smite spec focuses on dealing damage to generate healing and shielding, rewarding offensive play with supportive benefits, while for the Lifebind spec, it emphasizes direct healing and buff enhancement, ensuring strong team sustain through purely restorative abilities. When it comes to the pros and cons, for one, it is beginner friendly. 2, it's ranged. 3, it's a team safety net, so if you want to be the more supportive player on the team and help out with healing, this will be the class for you. And 4, it is strong in prolonged fights. Of course, being able to out-heal the duration of enemy attacks is very important as a healer. As for the cons, again, like stated earlier, it does have low damage output. You do have to worry with your resource management. It does have lower solo impact, and it does, again, struggle early. And then last but not least, the final class in Blue Protocol Star Resonance for the support classes is the Beat Performer. Being one of the two dedicated support classes, it wields the Fire element to sustain and protect allies. It specializes in offensive buffs and utility, providing team-wide advantages through a variety of skill synergies. However, the Beat Performer has low direct healing and can feel weak, similar to the Verdant Oracle in the early game, relying on talents and progression to reach its full potential. The Beat Performer offers two distinct specializations, Dissonance and Concerto spec. The Dissonance spec focuses on dealing damage to generate healing, rewarding offensive play with supportive benefits, similar to the Verdant Oracle. And the Concerto spec is the more buff-enhancing spec, where it enhances your buffs, ensuring strong offensive power for the team. So when it comes to playing one of the two support classes in the game, it's either if you want to do more healing, to go for the Verdant Oracle, or if you want to provide more buffs to the team, you'll play the Beat Performer. As for the pros and cons, again for the pros, it is buff oriented, it's also the team's safety net, it's strong in prolonged fights, and it's very rewarding gameplay. Of course, being able to buff your team, which is pretty much a must in a lot of endgame content, will definitely make this class feel more rewarding than others. As for the cons, it also has low damage output. It does have low healing output because that's more on the Verdant Oracle side to handle that. Also have to worry about resource management, and again, you do struggle early on in the game. And that's basically going to do it for this video. It's a quick overview of all the different classes in this game as well as its different specs that you can choose from. So let me know in the comments down below which you are deciding on playing. And if watching this video helped you kind of decide that you might want to choose a different class to start off with other than what you might have initially thought before. With that being said, if you enjoyed this content and want to see more BPSR content, feel free to hit a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as well as for the other gacha games that I play, like Persona 5 The Phantom X and Nikke. If those are your areas of interest, definitely feel free to send me some support. I do appreciate it a ton. That being said, it's Brother Frona, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.